There is perhaps no site here in Ireland to which the term floral extravagance can be more appropriately applied than a field of dandelions in full bloom. There is no other flower that sets the fields of early summer ablaze with gold. The sight is something that should shock us out of our everyday taking for granted view of the natural world, in the way the desert bursting into bloom after the dry season shocks those seeing it for the first time, unforgettable forever after. And yet, we take it for granted. In the words of Patrick Kavanagh, dandelions growing on headlands, showing their unloved hearts to everyone. Dandelion belongs in the great tribe of the family of the composites, the daisy family, in which the flower head consists of numerous individual strap-shaped florets, each of which will develop into a tiny single-seeded fruitlet. And this dandelion pattern, as we may call it, is an enormously successful floral blueprint. It's found in anything between 6,000 and 7,000 different species all over the world. Many of them yellow, and sometimes rather difficult to distinguish one from the other on first inspection, or indeed even on closer examination. But they also occur in many other different colours. For example, chicory is blue, and the flowers of fox and cubs are foxy red in colour. Dandelion is one of the most important of early summer nectar and pollen sources for a wide variety of pollinators, all sorts of bees to the fore, along with many butterflies and flies. Over 100 pollinator species have been recorded, and it is the larval plant of lots of others, including several moths. But the strange thing is that it seems to have dispensed with the need for their services. It's not that the florets are self-pollinating, but the seeds develop without pollination, a phenomenon known as apomixis. This has many consequences. It means firstly, of course, that a superabundance of seed is always produced, but it also means that the genetic versatility resulting from sexual reproduction, so important to being able to adapt to environmental change, is absent. On the other hand, any mutations that occur in a particular individual are passed directly on to its offspring, which gives rise to a bewildering variety of microspecies that only someone who studies dandelions with a sort of dedicated attention to the smallest details expected of surgeons can recognise and give a name to. The medieval apothecaries knew the dandelion by the name Dandelionis, which in Latin means the tooth of the lion, for which the French is Dandelion, and that of course is what our dandelion also means. Some people, however, think that the name comes not from the jagged tooth-like appearance of the leaves, but from the rather ragged appearance of the flowers. Others again think it comes from the somewhat fang-like appearance of the roots. Another name it had for the early herbalists was Caput Monarchi, which means in Latin the monk's head, and this name comes from the supposed tonsured appearance of the flower head before it opens. Dandelion is high on the list of plants of the forager because the entire plant is edible. The blanched leaves are as good as curled endive in salads. All you have to do is put a flower pot over the plant until the leaves turn yellow. The roots, boiled until tender with salted water and a little vinegar, have a not unpleasant flavour and make an excellent vegetable. Even the flower heads can be eaten, dipped in spicy flour or tempura and then fried in oil. Given the eminent pantheon of those who have put pen to paper in praise of the dandelion, it might seem slightly sacrilegious to single out for special mention the American poet Harold Pickett. But he does manage to put his finger on a particularly important aspect of dandelion ecology, to which we will be returning in a month or so's time. He writes, Roses are red, violets are blue, but they don't get around like the dandelions do.